It'll set up second down and 6. Michael Liddell on that last stop for the Hawks. Princeton Lawler with the carry. Takes it down to the 7-yard line. Andre Johnson on the stop for Terrace. 3rd and 3 for the Wildcats.
Just in time.
7 yards. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Well, welcome back. We have regained our connection here on the Sound Alive Sports Network. And not a moment too soon if you're an Oak Harbor fan, as the touchdowns just keep on coming here in the second half. Oak Harbor with their 3rd touchdown. And awaiting the PAT. The kick is up. Clock here moving forward. They kick that ball to Malcolm Johnson, and Malcolm takes it on the 30. Carries a couple of Wildcat tacklers with him, and finally gets brought down at the 43-yard line. So, Vince, while we were off the air, Oak Harbor, we took a break. Oak Harbor did not, and they kept scoring.
We had the power outage, not the Cats. I can tell you that right now. Holy smoke.
Lawler scoring another touchdown. Devereaux had one. We'll get you some stats here in a minute. The sophomore just having a huge night tonight.
That young man has quite a future in front of him if he runs like that. My goodness, that is not something that we saw on tape, on film.
Saw a little bit of it. I mean,
not like what we're seeing tonight.
No, 16 carries, 156 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Handoff goes to Johnson. No, that's Lacoste. Lacoste looking for room out to the left. Doesn't find much. And if you are the Mountlake Terrace Hawks, you need to start thinking about next week. The playoffs start either next Friday or Saturday. And it looks as though we're going to be heading to Olympia at some point.
Capital, I guess, would be the host on that one.
We believe so, yeah. That's what we're being told, is that they should be finishing second in the Narrows division, which would mean we would play Capital. And again, being that it's the playoffs, it could be a Friday or a Saturday. As the Hawks, once again, are ready to go here. Trying to find some room up the middle, not much. Gain of maybe 2 yards on the play for Malcolm Johnson.
Credit Oak Harbor's defense from just staying home, not buying too much of the deception.
Running clock. Once the team is up by 40 points or more in the second half, they let the clock continue to run. It's a mercy rule, if you will, and that's exactly what's happening right now, is the clock showing 5:59 and counting. And if you're Oak Harbor, yeah, you've got to be feeling pretty good about things. You finished off the season with a record of 6-1. We mentioned earlier they've had 2 games canceled, and I guess if you want to be really technical, they're 6-2. They forfeited a game to Marysville Pilchuck after the shooting. I tend to not like to look at it that way. I'm going to look at their body of work on the field. They are 6-1 right now. Looks like they've brought in a second-string quarterback here, as Doty is no longer in, and I think they are emptying out their bench and letting some of these young men get some action here. This was the last regular season game of the year, obviously, for them, and it is senior night, consequently, not knowing if they were going to have a home game next week. We now know that they are, but senior night here, so a lot of the players being recognized before the game, and certainly I'm sure if you're Coach Turner, you're trying to get as many players in as possible right now to give these guys some action, and also start resting up your players and getting them ready for what should be a playoff game at home next week against Kennedy Catholic. And I'll tell you what, Vince, one other thing I'm thinking as we sit up here is that was Snavely with a carry. Quarterback Snavely getting taken down that time by the Hawks. I believe that was Gabe Brady on the tackle.
Yeah.
Nice play by Gabe. But I'll tell you what, if you are Oak Harbor, and I'll be honest, I was one of the doubters. I was one who thought that if they had played that game against Marysville-Pilchuck, they would have lost by a considerable amount. I might be changing my thought on that one now after watching the way they've dominated this Mountlake Terrace team. Oak Harbor and Marysville-Pilchuck, it turns out that might be a very interesting matchup. And the interesting thing there is that if Oak Harbor wins tonight, if Pilchuck wins tonight as well, they're playing in Meadowdale right now. They lead, by the way, 20-13 that last check. If both of those two teams win next week and the week after, they would be playing in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. So the Oak Harbor-Marysville-Pilchuck game still might take place here eventually, and not too far down the road either.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
I think a lot of people would like to watch that game, myself included. And, two schools that have bonded over the last week due to unfortunate circumstances, but I still think a lot of folks would like to see what that outcome would be on the field.
Well, you have to credit the program here at Oak Harbor. Like you, I've been incredibly impressed with what has transpired here in the last week. It just seemed like every step of the way in terms of how Oak Harbor would respond
next week. And that was another nice thing that came out of this whole thing, was that Seahawks stepping up, letting Marysville-Pilchuck have a practice time there last week, and then Oak Harbor this week. And the outpouring of support for both of these two programs just continues to come from various places all week long and into next week. And as I mentioned to some of you guys before the game, after going down and talking to Coach Jay Turner and talking to Jim Coleman, one of the other assistant coaches on Oak Harbor, I mentioned that if I wasn't a Mountlake Terrace alum, I might be rooting for Oak Harbor tonight.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Certainly this is a program that's easy to pull for with a bunch of good kids and there's quality people around here. It's a great community, and hate to see my Hawks losing by 40, but if they have to lose on a night like tonight, I'm glad it's to a team like Oak Harbor. As Javon Ned getting his first carry of the game and gets that one down to the 10.
Yeah. You know, since you mentioned it too with the Seahawks have also made several incredibly smart moves and just shown their character and their sportsmanship too, volunteering up during the Oso landslide without garnering much media attention at all. And then what they've done for these two clubs. And then I understand, aren't they going to be wearing a little helmet decal as well this weekend?
The Seahawks are going to, in fact, be wearing the Marysville-Pilchuck decal, and just seen a lot of that around the area. I think you were looking at a helmet earlier that Getchell was going to wear tonight that had both Marysville-Pilchuck and Marysville-Getchell on it. And just a lot of, I know a lot of teams were doing whiteouts throughout the state tonight in honor of Marysville-Pilchuck. And the outpour of support is just, it's coming from all over the place, not only, in Snohomish County, but throughout the state and throughout the country for that matter.
Right.
Number 44 getting a carry there.
Yeah.
Love to tell you who that was, but he's not on our roster.
He's not on the roster.
Somebody's wearing a jersey that they
number 44
normally do not wear. Notice the PA announcer apparently has the same announcement or same roster as we do, because he's not calling off any names either.
Well, it's nice to see a good mix here of starters and non-starters out on the field right now for Mountlake Terrace.
A few different players getting. I noticed a couple of the starters are still in. Drew Clippard's still playing center. They're going to throw it towards the end zone, and Daniel Johnson almost had his first touchdown of the game. 4th and 5 coming up for the Hawks on the 7. 42 seconds remaining in this game. The clock continues to run. It is a 40-point running clock rule right now, so normally on an incomplete pass the clock would stop. Not tonight, though, as the clock continuing to go here, and this should be the final play of the game. So we've got 26 seconds and counting. Unless there's a touchdown, then the clock would, in fact, stop. We are still going to try to do something with our Red Onion Burger player of the game tonight. We'll see if we can get down to the field and bring somebody up. So stick around afterwards. We'll see if we can't bring up something. And that's not happening. That was number 52 for Oak Harbor making the play. Kobe Cosper, the senior, making the tackle in the backfield. And the clock now showing 2-1-0. And that is it. Your final score tonight from Oak Harbor. The hometown Wildcats 49, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 9. Mountlake Terrace Hawks finishing the regular season with 7 wins and 2 losses. And now it counts. Next week they've got their first playoff game. And they'll be going for a win either Friday or Saturday down in Olympia. We'll keep you posted on that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to try to get you an interview, so stick around. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger. And thank you for watching.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger. And thank you for watching.